physical policy can be divided into two categories. One is discretionary physical policy and second is automatic stabilizers. And I discuss about that how economy adjusts itself with the help of automatic stabilizers. But if we want to implement the physical policy, we have to go for, the discretionary physical policy, that when you will take actions for that when government spending will be increased or decreased, or when, tax rate will increase or decrease, these types of policies in which government will be actually taking actions, that is aimed as discretionary physical policy. So please write on first point. Physical policy can be divided into two broad categories. We have already discussed discretionary physical policy and automatic stabilizers. So today's lecture is in difficulties in implementing discretionary physical policy, because in case of automatic stabilizers, there is nothing to implement. It automatically implements automatically by default. But in case of discretionary physical policy, we generally we face some problems, some difficulties in implementing it. So today's lecture will be on what are the difficulties which government faces or which are there in implementing it. So discretionary policy is implemented through changes in discretionary physical policy is implemented because either we can change spending or we can change income. With the help of these two only we can change. So discretionary policy is implemented with, either with the change in the government spending, either I decrease government spending or I increase, the income, that is tax rates. So following are the difficulties of discretionary. Again, I have written discretionary implementation. Following are the difficulties of discretionary financial physical policy implementation. The first is lags, L-A-G-S. Discretionary policy is coming through political process. Just listen to me for coming 2 minutes. What is the meaning of a lag? Lag means delay. There can be different types of delays because discretionary policy is coming from political process, and when I say political process, it will take some time that to find out what the problem is, what is the social problem. In order to find out the social problem, in order to recognize that will take some time, and it is named as recognition lag. For recognizing the problem, it is named as recognition lag. Because in discretionary physical policy, the political environment is there, and once we have decided, we have recognized that this is a problem. The second is action lag. While taking actions, it will take some time. And once I have taken the action, it will have some impact lag. The effect of it will also take some time. So there are 3 lags. So lag is the biggest problem, in implementing discretionary physical policy. The first is recognition lag. The second is action lag, and the third is impact lag. So please write on A point. The difficulty number A, lags, due to incidence of lags. Due to incidence of lags, namely recognition lag due to political process. Just write down political process so that you can get an idea that what I mean by recognition lag. Action lag, because all government policies, they take some time, to enacting it, and then impacting lag. Misleading economic statistics can also be a second type of difficulties, because we are talking of, statistics, that whether my economy is, in expansionary mode or in contractionary mode, which type of cycle it is. And supposedly my economy is growing and I am again going for expansionary physical policy, then it will increase inflation. So the statistics which I am aware of, that should be accurate. So misleading economic statistics can be a difficulty, in implementing that physical policy. Next is crowding effect. Very important for examination purpose, that crowding effect also plays a very important role in implementing a discretionary policy. So first, write down that what I have written for crowding effect. If deficit is increasing, government borrowing will increase, but naturally deficit is increasing, then government borrowing will increase. And when government borrowing will increase, the government will try to increase the reserve ratio, will use monetary policy tools, will change the reserve ratio, will go for open market and sell the securities so that can get the money. And when the government is doing this, the actual money supply in the market will decrease. And when the actual money supply in the market decrease, interest rate will increase, borrowing cost will increase, investment will decrease, and GDP will decrease. So this is named as crowding effect. Please write it down. I will repeat it again. If deficit is increasing, government borrowing is increasing, due to which government will increase reserve ratio, we have seen in money multiplier, and will start selling the bonds by open market operations. Due to decrease in money supply, because they are start selling the bonds, and hence all money will be going to the pocket of the government, and hence there will be a decreased money supply. So interest rate will increase, and borrowing cost will increase, investment will decrease, and real GDP will decrease. So this is crowding effect. It is also a difficulty in implementing that fiscal policy. Next difficulty is supply shortages. In the aggregate supply, I have told you that long run aggregate supply is not a function of price. Rather, it is a function of capital and labor availability. Because in long run, you cannot increase the supply by just increasing the prices. So if there is a, we have expansion in the physical policy, but if there is no labor available, no capital available, in that case, we will be facing a difficulty, and that is named as supply shortages. The next is limit to deficit. If already there is a deficit, and there is a huge deficit, and again that country is having new deficit, in that case the financier may limit the to finance it, because of huge debt already existing. So this is limit to deficit. This can be a difficulty in implementing fiscal policy. And the last is the multiple targets. If there is unemployment as well as inflation, so how we can manage both? It is again very difficult for the fiscal policy to manage both the targets. So we have discussed that also. Multiple targets, if the economy has given unemployment, has high unemployment coupled with high inflation, So what to manage? Firstly, that paradigm is there. So then fiscal policy cannot address both. So these are the difficulties of fiscal policy. Hope you have enjoyed it. Be happy.